Okay, so first thing I want to mention is that you might have noticed that I haven't posted a lot of videos recently. Partly because it's wintertime and there's less going on project-wise here, but also because I've had some financial issues, just some bills, vet bills actually, piling up that I've had to pay, and it's kind of prevented me from buying a lot of materials for some of the projects I want to do, so it's kind of limited me in that way as well. So I apologize for that, but we do have a video coming right now, and let's get right to it. All right, well, it appears that I've got some kind of a failure here. It's been a couple of days and the tracker has been sitting in this position, I think since Friday. It's Monday now. And if we look, you can see, I don't know how well you can actually see the display, but it is blank right now. There's nothing on there. And I checked the battery and it's at 12 and a half volts, something like that. So the battery's fine. And with the sun on the panels, I checked it, it had, I think it was 14 and a half volts. So battery's being charged and it's not a power issue. Also measured power in the line here. This is your power line right here. And I measured after the battery connection and it's got power. So right now, I'm going to take this cover off and I'm going to check voltage at the terminals where power comes in and make sure that we've got power all the way to the controller. If we do, then I'm going to call this controller bad. Got a controller malfunction, I think, which kind of presents an issue because, well, this is not the position I want to leave this array in because it's going to be windy the next couple of days. So I've got to set this thing flat. So I've got my motorcycle battery that I've been storing in the house and keeping charged all winter. So that's at a full 12 and a half volts right now too. And I set up this cable, which I've got stuck in the damn, there we go. So that I can, this is a fairly heavy power cable. It should be able to carry plenty of current. That I'm going to just alligator clips I got connect to the battery. And then these, I'm going to have to disconnect this connector in here. I think it's just a couple of screws, and apply power directly to the linear actuator here and drive this thing flat. So I'm going to do that now, so I'll bring you back after I've gotten this thing a little bit apart. All right, I've got the cover off here. See the cover there? With the cover off of the unit, and I've got the meter leads on the power input from the battery, and you can see that the meter is reading 14.4 volts. We got the panels uncovered, so a little bit of diffused sunlight is producing some voltage there. Since we're not drawing any voltage off the battery right now, it's floated up to 14 and a half, almost 14 and a half volts. So clearly power is getting to the controller, yet no activity at all on the controller. So I have power cycled it a couple times and disconnected it from the battery. The first time I did that, it did come back to life and I started moving again. But then the next day, this occurred again, where the first time it just simply showed an error message, and I wish I had taken a photograph of the screen when it showed the error message, because I don't remember what it was. And I believe it was just numbers, and it was set flat at the time, so it had obviously made its evening, trek all the way east and then halfway back west to set flat, which it's supposed to do every night. But when this latest failure occurred, apparently it had gotten halfway through that process. So, because it's set all the way, and you can see by looking at the linear actuator on this side, it is all the way east right now. So that's what it does at night, is it drives itself all the way east for the setting flat process, and then once it gets all the way east, it drives itself west a certain period of time to get flat. So now I guess I'm gonna have to call the controller failed, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this thing driven to its flat position so that it can survive the wind for the next couple of days before I can get a new controller for it. So I'm gonna do that now, and if I can set the camera somewhere where you can see, I'll try to show you that process as well. All right, so I was gonna try to set the phone on the ground on the stand or something, but I think I can do this handheld. I've got the battery from my motorcycle set up here with a wire clip set up on it here, the alligator clips. And you can see I've disconnected, took all the tape off of this connector, and I've exposed the wires. I've got one lead from the battery already connected. And now we're gonna try to drive this thing flat so it can sit here in the wind for the next couple of days without being destroyed. So here we go. Okay, so obviously the motorcycle battery not as happy powering this thing as the deep cycle battery, so I'm going to give it a little help. All right, so we're getting there. Almost flat, almost flat. It's just about there, and I'm gonna call that good. Okay, so that worked. So she can sit there in the wind for the next couple of days without presenting a giant surface to the wind, because we're getting some pretty high winds predicted for the next couple of days. It's going to be pretty crappy out here for the next couple of days. So I got to decide now whether I'm going to try to get a new controller or if I'm going to try to make one. So I think I can make an Arduino project out of it, possibly. I've got this this nice enclosure they've provided here. I can even use their LCD. I think that's just a standard 16 by 2 display I can just repurpose. And maybe I can even reuse some of the components on the board. They've got some relays there, probably perfectly fine. And I'm not sure what processor they're using. I've actually not taken this thing fully apart, but I could just do that, get an Arduino, program it to do the job, and do it that way, or I could go out and purchase a replacement unit, and something like $70 or $80. But you know, finances being what they are, maybe I will go the other way with it.